Hello again, it's Chris, aka ET_UK with the KLMX5. Just doing a really quick run through of my updates of what I've done since I did my first walk around. A few things have changed. First of all, I've got a timing wheel made up. I did that, designed it on KLMX5. Went a bit of overkill just to try and take as much weight out of it as possible. It's not really necessary, but I just thought, since it was water jetted, I thought I might as well just go hell for leather with it. That goes nicely on my new pulley. I showed you before in the previous video. This doesn't have the undercut for the seal on the block that the original one does, so I need to machine off the lip on the block so that I can fit this all the way on, because at the moment it's sitting about ½ an inch proud of where it's meant to sit. Also, just to show you, I've got my taken my coils off, coil and plugs. These are Honda CBR 1000 units, Denso coils. Also, I've got, these are the spark plugs I'm using. These are Bosch, and they have to be these Bosch, or these are Super 4s. The only reason I've got those is because I can get a good deal on them. I'm not really bothered about the tip design on them. I think my theory is that if it creates a spark, it works, so whatever. But these have the removable tip, unscrewable tip, and that's essential for using them with these coil and plugs because they don't accept tips. Thirdly, seats. I've got these. These are the original seats that came with the car. I've done a fairly serious thumectomy on them. They've had about 2 inches taken off the base, about ½ an inch to an inch taken off the back, and the sides have been bolstered up further, so they're more bucket-like. And also, I don't know if you can tell, the front lip of them slightly higher as well, so it'll hold me slightly better than they previously did. They're also covered in leather, perforated leather, plain leather. The stitching is actually the same colour as the car. That's just a bit of funky personalisation I thought I'd do. Next, stainless steel tubing. That's for the exhaust. That's all ready to go on. My mate Claire's making up the flanges, and she'll be coming down in a couple of weekends' time to build up the exhaust for me, so that'll be the exhausts done. The other major bits that need doing are the oil filter mount that goes on top of the shock tower top. It's a mount for a mount, so there's one for the AFPR as well, but that's going to be done at the same time. It's basically the same design. Everything's strapped there. I've got my coolant lines. They're all ready to go on the car, and the radiator is also ready to go on the car as well. That's just sat there waiting. Probably more interestingly, there's the car. Put the nose back on, you'll notice, just to get the car more in one piece for moving it about. You can see the clear coat damage on the front of it, where I hit the mud. That's all across the front, but it's obstructed, so I can't really show you the rest of it. I've also put the bonnet on just to get out of the way, because I don't really need the access that taking off the bonnet provides at the moment. Right, engine-wise, we have the shiny new water pump pulley. It's got a new offset so that it's in line with the alternator pulley and its tensioner. That's so that it can all run off one belt, whereas previously there's two belts, one for the alternator and the air conditioning pump. Obviously I don't have the air conditioning pump anymore. And a second one for the water pump and the power steering pump. Obviously I don't have the power steering pump anymore. So it kind of makes sense to have them all off one belt. And that belt is hanging on the wall over there, all ready to go on. Another little job. That hole, if I can zoom in on it, that one in the centre, that's drilled out to just over 14mm to accept the coolant temperature sensor as supplied by DIY Auto-Tune for the Mega Squirt. I decided it would be better to go with that than to mess around with calibrating the original one that came with the engine. as you can see, and as you saw earlier, I've taken the coil and plugs out, and you can see, just about see down the holes. Spark plugs are out, obviously. That's because I had to try and turn the engine over without compression. Basically, I've sorted out the wiring for the alternator and the starter motor, and the wiring generally has come on as well, although it doesn't particularly look like it, but it has. I'm now at the point where I can turn the engine over on this, with the starter motor, as you can see in another video on YouTube. However, the battery is that knackered that it won't turn the engine over with compression. In fact, it won't turn it over on its own at all. You have to stick a battery booster on it, and then it will turn the car over. Although the booster I've got is I say booster, it's a very small charger, so it's hardly much of a boost at all, but it's enough to get it turning. I need a new battery. It's the original battery that came with the car, so it's absolutely knackered now. It's 13 years old and has been flattened many times. So that's about that. As I mentioned, all it needs fabricating is the exhausts, the two mounts, and that's basically it for bits that need to be made. Optionally, well, not optionally, but not essentially, there's an airbox. That brown tray looking thing there, that's the template, glass fibre template for the airbox that I'm going to have to shape to fit under the bonnet or hood. But at the moment it's making quite a nice tray. And that's about it at the moment. I'm hoping to get this all done very soon. I've just been given the go-ahead from my company to move down to work off-site, about 120 miles away from where I'm living now. So I need to move out of this house, so I need to get as much of the car done as soon as possible. And so I'm packing up the house as well as we speak. I've got to be there this Monday, as in 3 days' time, so it's all a bit of a rush. So I'm hoping to get the car working within the next few weeks, because I will have this house for another month. I'm hoping before that month's up the car will be running and I'll be able to drive it somewhere other than having to trailer it. And that's about it for the moment. I'll keep you updated on any other anything else. I'll obviously take a video of the first start-up, and I'll take another video of the engine cranking over on the starter when I've got a proper live battery on it. So good luck with your projects. I'll be seeing you on the forum and making comments as usual. See you later. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.